Hello, everybody, and welcome to Book Club. We are currently on Thursday, September 26th, correct? And we are going to be going through chapter 4 and 5. So we have Pam leading us today, so you can take it away, Pam.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, so chapters 4 and 5, won't lie, read them this morning. If you guys actually read through them, because I know that chapter 4 is a little dry, it is a little dry, but what it talks about is the meat and potatoes of the network marketing business or direct sales companies and such. So it's actually quite important to read through it and kind of hash it out. At the end of the day, I know I just said like we can blow through it, but it is kind of important. What I got from this chapter, and we can go through it a little bit more in depth in a minute, is you have to make your decisions based on certain things in the business. So you got to make sure you've got your eyes open and you're looking at the different types and styles of businesses. You're looking at what their success plans are. Like, you have to compare your apples to apples, and you've got to make sure that you're making sound decisions. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And something that I love that this chapter does talk about is pyramid schemes and how what they're based on versus, because I'm sure we've all heard it, that, oh, it's just another pyramid scheme. So I really did like that they go into depth about that a little bit. So we'll talk about that. We'll skim through. It says, work the plan. When you're clear about what you're working for, you're ready to focus on how you're going to get it. It's time to take a look at how different companies pay their representatives. Every network marketing company has a compensation plan, sometimes called a marketing plan, that sets out clearly what you have to do to get what you want. The common denominator of all legitimate plans, an example of other illegitimate or pyramid schemes are, like I said, hashed out later, is that payments are based on the sales you generate, both from personal sales and the sales from the people that you recruit. So the higher your sales, the more you'll earn. If you're lucky, your plan is simple and easy to understand. And what I love about bringing this over to Tupperware is that our plan is very, very easy to see and to understand and to duplicate. A lot of them will seem confusing. They go into the 4 different types, and I got quite confused myself. I had to read through them a number of times. And for myself, I like to bring it back to how it relates to what I'm doing or previous businesses that I've been involved in. So it says, just don't be deterred. As businesses develop, so do their plans. Most good ones specifically focus on key behaviors required to build a successful downline organization or a strong downline. Tupperware does a great job of that because they have set out rewards and awards that award you for recruiting and bringing more people into the business. So they're rewarding you, for doing what's going to be best for your business. I found in the past I've been involved in businesses that you got rewarded more, and it sounds more like a pyramid scheme. It wasn't based mostly on recruits, but you got rewarded for recruiting. So sometimes you ended up recruiting, let me explain better. You got rewarded financially for recruiting, a little bit more than rewarded for selling of services or products. I like that Tupperware awards us in ways that we can build our business by selling the product. So it isn't purely driven on you need to recruit and then you end up recruiting for the wrong reasons. It's built on you need to recruit and these are the right reasons to recruit, and this is why recruiting is the answer to building a successful business and how this is going to help generate sales of the products that we all fall in love with, if that makes sense. And if you understand the plan, you can explain it clearly and enthusiastically to prospective recruits. So Tupperware has everything laid out visually as well as in documents that people can read through if it's hard for you to come up with ways to explain the business. And here I'm fumbling over my words. So we're super duplicatable. A lot of, especially through top of the line, we're doing copy and paste type parties so that we can duplicate what is generating sales and getting more Tupperware in the hands of people and allowing them to fall in love with the products and so on and so forth. Once they fall in love with the products, you're able to explain to them how you've built your business and how it's benefited your life, and in turn they want some of those benefits as well. They've got FOMO, their fear of missing out. The most basic principle of network marketing is duplication. So as I just talked about, if it's duplicatable, it's easier for people to do the exact same things you're doing and have success the same way that you are. And success to everybody's different, and everybody has a different time frame. You'll be paid a percentage of the total sales you generate, usually monthly, and some of the companies operate differently. Tupperware, we've got our monthly tup pay that comes in, but you also can earn your sales by partying. So you pay yourself as often as you want, which is something that I absolutely love. There are companies that all the sales get submitted, you pay everything right to them, and then the money comes back to you on this cycle. And that is solely how you make money. I like how Sonia Blady talks about poofing a party. When you need some cash, you can poof a party and get cash in your pocket right away. So something I took from there. Your rank is also based on your personal sales and the sales of everybody that you recruit. That we're well aware of. I mean, is there anybody here that's not sure how Tupperware's pay scales go? Or, I mean, we all have that at our fingertips. So I think our organization does a great job, and Tupperware themselves has a great job of marketing how you can get paid more by recruiting and how you can get paid more by ranking up, by building your business. When a member of your group recruits enough people and produces enough sales to achieve a higher rank, they're known as a breakaway. So an example would be, I mean, Allison she broke away from KCJ, and now, Allison, how many do you have? How many directors are under you now? I'm sorry, I don't mean to call you out. If you can, I'm like losing track.
Sorry, I'm just driving. So now I'm currently a 2-star director, and then one of my directors is a star director. So last month there were 3 directors that stepped up on my team.
Yeah, like
Wow.
Absolutely amazing. Congratulations. Awesome. I'm like so excited for you. But yeah, so Allison's like had a ton of breakaways. So that's directly based on the way the business is built. So she recruited enough people, that recruited enough people, that recruited enough people, and they're breaking away from her. But she's always making sure that she is building her baseline to make sure that she's never struggling to rebuild once people branch away. And it talks about how smart building is building a strong baseline. So our level ones, making sure that you're always recruiting and building your level ones, so that when someone breaks away and promotes out, you have others that are also working towards the same thing, so your base isn't falling out from underneath you. Those who develop the most breakaways reach the highest ranks of most plans, and consequently the highest rewards. A few super achievers receive monthly payments of hundreds of thousands of dollars or more. They earn their must by recruiting one person at a time. How quickly you reach each rank will depend on how hard you work and how skilled you are at marketing your products and your business opportunity. So again, Tupperware and, for instance, Top of the Line, FSRC is doing a great job at getting resources out there in a big way, and I'm sure your businesses are all doing the same. But we make it very easy to share and to do what we're doing, so people are able to use the same resources and duplicate the business the same way that we have. And then I'm just, skimming through, what am I at, bottom of page 26 here. So it talks about most companies allocate approximately the same percentage of total sales to pay their representatives. However, each company structures its plan slightly differently. As one example, some plans pay a small percentage on the sales of everybody you recruit, whereas others require that you recruit a set number of people and reach a combined sales target before you are paid on your recruits. So for instance, we are paid on commission of our Tupperware sales until we promote to manager, at which point we have other avenues of being paid. Once you hit director, you're being paid higher percentages. But you do have to hit the manager manager point before you're getting paid on your team sales. Another example is the difference in how much you have to sell personally to earn higher commissions. The four most common plans currently in use are the stair step or breakaway, which is what we are based on. In my opinion, I mean, it doesn't say our name here, but I take into account what they talk about. And this is where I have to relate it back to businesses that I've dealt with and I've worked through so that I made sure I understood it. And I'm not even sure. Feel free to jump in here anytime if you want, guys, because like not exactly sure I'm clear on this. But there's the stair step or breakaway, the hybrid or unilever, which is things that I think of right now, the companies that I think of, and correct me if I'm wrong if you've been involved in them personally and you know better, but I did Salmonate for a while. They're like a hybrid Unilever company. And then I think Thrive is also somewhat like that. So people join into their organizations as associates so that they can buy directly from the company. And what happens is you basically buy a membership so that you can purchase products cheaper. But then what happens is, and as they're hoping, you're going to branch out and sell those things to other people as well. So that maybe you can make a little bit of commission, or you're going to bring them in as members as well. And then you're building a downline just by buying your own products.
That's also how both Amway and Herbalife work as well. You come in to buy product as a wholesale buyer with the hope that you will then bring in other people.
Right. Then there's forced matrix, and they give the example of Melaleuca. I'm not sure. It says there's a limit, so I just scrolled down to the bottom of page 28, sorry, because there's just points on each of them that you can read through to help you understand, but it says there's a limit on how many people you may personally recruit across your top line. So you have a cap on your level ones, for instance, for what we have. And to me, that just seems, I can't even wrap my head around that. Like, I don't understand how that would work. It says your personal recruits are one line below you, meaning your direct recruits are known as your second levels. Your second level recruits are known as your third levels. So I guess as you get over your cap, they go underneath. I'm not sure. They have a term called spillover. And then binary plans. This I'm not even positive about. You can only recruit 2 people or legs as your first levels, and the additional first level recruits become your second levels. You're paid on the sales of the weaker of your 2 legs. Now, what I did like about that little blurb there is that this plan would make sure you're building your team always. You're always training. And I kind of like started that off because I'm reading online. I'm doing the PDF, but I have like notes for each chapter, and I have a big star beside it. Like, you need to build always and train always and make sure that even your weakest links are able to keep up, and that it's maybe a little, like maybe you're giving them a little, I don't know. And this is in my personal opinion, but if you're giving them a little bit more attention, if they're willing to put in some work and you're helping them keep up, then you're going to grow, because even the people that they're recruiting and they're bringing into the business are going to be feeding off of this motivation, because it is speed of the leader, speed of the pack. If that recruiter of that little downline isn't really moving because they have a harder time operating on Facebook, or they are super nervous, or whatever the case is, and you give them a little extra boost, when their team sees them working, then they're also going to work. So it just kind of brought that to light. And then in this binary plan, you may be allowed to carry unpaid sales forward, and some plans allow you to form a second matrix. So I'm assuming that that's like a second branch down.
That is the most confusing thing I've ever read.
Right?
I was like, how do you I don't even see how you recruit people into this, because you can't explain how you make money. Like, yeah. I don't know.
I'm not really sure. And then it just goes into talking about bottom of page 29, top of page 30, understanding your plan. So what this even does for me, because I'm pretty confident that I understand how our plan works, I actually want to sit down and read through my director binder. I want to make sure I refresh everything, because this just confused the crap out of me a little bit. But I do believe that we are with a company. We've paired with a company that has great resources and they make great decisions. I mean, there's always going to be hiccups, but they definitely have it set up for success for us. They make us, they're sending us in the right direction. We are always building, like we've spent all month this month preparing for next month's record breaker month. In August, we were recruiting to help prepare for building this month, to help record breaker be record breaker. Like everything that they're doing is a set out plan. And yeah, we have the resources at hand. So understand your plan. If you don't, take a second to understand your plan. If you're just starting out, reach out to your recruiter or your director and ask questions, or we have albums in top of the line and there's resources on FSRC. But it basically talks about, it relates businesses and network marketing to being like getting your license, which I kind of like as I just skim through here. You study, and then you get your license, and then you learn as you drive. So we talk about learning as you earn, or earning while you learn. Either way, fake it till you make it. We make it duplicatable. So if somebody's posted something on Facebook that you like, it's pretty general terms that like you're free to share it. If it works for me and it can work for you, give or go kind of deal. So you need to figure out what it is you're looking for out of the company, figure out the plan, figure out the steps that you need to take. It's the same with the plan. You only have to learn it once, and it'll fall into place as you practice it. Take the time to understand. Your plan will give you the knowledge and confidence to share it with others. Once you're walking the walk and talking the talk, it's a lot easier to talk the talk once you're walking the walk. To separate key points of your plan from the quagmire of jargon and hype, look for answers to these questions. And it goes through questions that you want to be asking yourself, what you're looking for. I highly recommend you guys read through them. And like I answered these questions for myself while I was reading the chapter today, because I wanted to make sure that I'm constantly rechecking, and these questions are great for rechecking. What is it that you're looking for? What are you trying to achieve? The most appealing aspect of all plans is that they clearly mark out key mileposts en route to your destination. Once you calculate how much time you'll allocate to your business and factor in the current skill level, you will be able to set a realistic rank to aim for in your first year. This will enable you to calculate your income. And then it talks about comparing other plans, and it talks about how you need to compare apples to apples. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're comparing Tupperware to somebody, you should maybe compare them to Pampered Chef or whatever other, your local competitors. I don't even consider Scentsy to Tupperware, because you can't compare candles to home storage and food storage and cooking, right? So,
hey Pam, it's Lindsay.
Yeah.
Can I give my 2 cents?
Yes, please.
I know I was late, you guys. I'm really sorry. I'm glad to see some of your faces. I honestly think we should skip to page. I like some of the generalities that she certainly said, but I think we should skip to 37, honestly, because we've already picked our plan. We don't need to compare it to anything. It doesn't make any sense. We're already here. We picked our plan, move on. But I think what is an important factor from this chapter for me was that it's important that we don't throw up on our consultants in terms of the plan. I think if we're being honest, this is not how we run our businesses, right? 98% of people that join any home-based businesses do not start for a compensation plan. This is pointless. It's not worth our time to talk about, because we need to help people get the discount, and then we need to F and move on. And when they decide they want something, then we give them the information. And this is what we do to give them the information. Okay, Pam, I love that you're smiling, because I was like, I know I was late. And I was like, okay, maybe there's a point to this. And I was trying to like listen and give you the time to like, but then I was listening more and I was like, no, there's no point. Move on. Let's not talk about this.
I don't want to talk about this right now. I won't lie. So thank you. Okay. I was like, we've already done this. I don't know why I'm hashing people that are in the
yeah.
I mean, it's great. And this chapter is for people that haven't decided on a business yet. We have. So let's quit talking about what other compensation plans are. We don't need to compare a compensation plan to anything. We already know that Tupperware has worked for 71 years. So I think what we should be talking about, discussing and brainstorming in lieu of this chapter is to talk about what's really cool with what we're doing. And I think what really matters is a couple of things that are, how we can give a visual to people who have joined our team, right? So when we really think, and this is actually fresh in my mind because this is one of the aspects we trained on in our in-person training this week that we had for our company, is when we really think about the people on our team that have joined for the discount and then they start maybe doing 1 or 2 parties a month, right? We want to make it really clear for them what they're missing out on, right? And sometimes the visual is great for that. So when we're really looking, so if you're going to do 1 party a month, and that's going to make you what, $150, $200 of commission, right? You're doing 1 party a month. That's what you want to put into your business. Let's just, for the purpose of this example, let's just assume that's true. Now, we know that as people want to do more, they are going to do more. But for the purpose of this example, you're an individual doing 1 party a month. So you're making $200 in commission, let's say. Now, that exact same $200 in commission that you're making, when you ask 3 people to join you and they are also doing only 1 party a month, right? Then you're going to be a manager. And when you're a manager, you're making that extra, say $100. So do you want to be doing 1 party a month and making $200? Or do you want to be doing 1 party a month and making $300? And if that's the case, let's add 3 more people and be a star manager up to executive manager. So if you have 9 people on your team, everyone, including you, is doing 1 party a month, you're going to be making $750. Do you want to be doing 1 party a month and making $200, or do you want to be doing 1 party a month and making $750? So I think when we're looking at our compensation plan and talking about Tupperware and what is important for us, is that's the link we need to make for ourselves and for our team. So if you're sitting and looking at yourself, what are you doing this month? How can you do the exact same as you're doing now, but make more money? Tupperware allows us to do that. Okay, Pam, back to you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, don't say sorry. I really love you for that, because I honestly was trying to make it work, and I was like, I don't know why we're talking about this, but I'm trying to work through it because it's the most of the chapters. Like, there's 3 pages otherwise. And I was like, so yeah, but I love the breakdown. I did do a breakdown on my page, the same thing. I was like, let's just talk about how much you're making here. Like, Tupperware is awesome because you're making even more than they're suggesting, kind of deal at minimum. So
when you were saying like we need to compare it to this or that other thing, I have actually had people ask me, like, well, what is your compensation plan compared to Pampered Chef? And you know what I tell them? I go, I don't know, because I don't know Pampered Chef's compensation plan, because I'm a Tupperware consultant, and I know that my plan works the absolute best for me and for my downline, and let me tell you about that. I don't try to do that whole comparison thing because I'm not trying to give them a reason to not join my team. I want to give them the information that they need to join my team. And whatever the question is that you have, the only answer you're going to get from me is what Tupperware can do for you. And if you want to know what Pampered Chef can do for you, go find a Pampered Chef consultant. I don't know. So, I don't say that to them though, but
Well, I have something to add to this too. So I've been with other direct sales companies, and I would get that same question too a lot years ago, not so much anymore. But I always encourage everybody, I'm like, if you're like shopping for a direct sales company, look long and hard at their compensation program, even if you're getting started and not thinking about building a business, because the companies that I was with, both of them had little loopholes as to why I wouldn't get paid. And so, and it kind of like, I kind of assumed all direct sales companies had those little loopholes. And so, but they really truly don't. But I always encourage everybody, if they're shopping around, I tell them my plan, and I'm like, this is what I'm bringing to the table. If you want to keep looking, go right ahead, but take a long, hard look, because I can tell you Tupperware doesn't have that, but other companies do. So.
Yeah, majorly. That is That is a great point. I've received that question a number of times myself, mainly because I've been in other companies. So people do ask me the differences. And I say the same thing. Just make sure that you're like thinking it through and you're reading everything and you're asking questions, because if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. This seems too good to be true, but look at the track records, look online, look at what people are doing, go talk to people. Like, there's 5,000 people everywhere that have success with Tupperware.
But in the end all, if the person that you're asking this information from, if they can't explain it, that should be a red flag. I can explain to you exactly how you're going to get paid working with Tupperware, exactly, to the T, exactly how Lindsay said it. So if somebody that you're going to can't even explain how you're going to be, how you're earning your commissions, that should be a massive red flag. And with Tupperware, that's not the case. It just isn't. It's cut and dry. It's flat out. You do this, you get that. End of story. So.
Yeah. So on to page 37. Don't reinvent the wheel. And I absolutely love this. This chapter really did hit home for me, because Tupperware, I've talked about a couple times already, like we're set up so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's laid out for us. It's right there. This is exactly what you need to do. These products need to be demonstrated in order for people to see the value in the product. Once people see the value in the product, it's easy for them to see the benefits of the more. So I am going to skim through, I will read through the chapter, because we're just going to hash this chapter out. If you have something to say, please feel free to cut me off and speak up. I'm reading online, so I see half of my screen. I'm not the other half of you. Sorry. So when you signed the independent representative agreement, you start your own business, you probably heard you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And I know I've heard that. I have a profile picture that is written on with a bunch of other directors in the area. Something I say all the time. I'm sure you've heard it, but that pretty much sums up what network marketing is about. Although you are 100% responsible for your results, you selected a corporation to be your business partner. Whatever your reason, you fell in love with the product, you liked the plan, or someone offered you a great opportunity, you are now in a powerful partnership. So I joined for a free frying pan. I did that because I grew up with Tupperware products in and around my family's homes. So I already saw the value in the product. I already loved the product. And I wanted the free frying pan. And then at that point, I wanted the discount because I didn't want to pay retail. So whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. But you end up in this powerful partnership. And unlike the majority of self-employed who struggle to build their business with borrowed capital and high overheads, you now have a partner with enormous resources all at your disposal. So we don't have to pay for marketing materials. I mean, Tupperware does advertising on social media on their pages. They have sponsors here, there, whatever they're taking part in. We're not paying anything to make that happen. When we get a flyer, when they've created a flyer and they've paid a graphics team to design the flyer and they've paid people to edit the flyer and whatnot, we're not paying for that. We get those resources in our email. Our business leaders send them out to us. Our directors send them out to us. We get those resources and we can crop and cut and edit them however we see fit if we wanted to. But what they're saying here is you shouldn't. You should take those and run with them because you've partnered with this company that's investing the money into this for you. Take what they're giving you and run and talk to people. Knock on doors, give them the flyer. Like brochures, catalogs, the pricing on them when you look at resources, and I don't mean to compare, but when you do compare to other companies, the resources that we have the opportunity to purchase are at such a discounted rate compared to other companies. There's so little investment to purchase brochures and catalogs from Tupperware that you can take your brochures out. And here we can pay the post office to actually put the flyers in the mailboxes for us. It's 7 cents a mailbox. So like you stamp your information on them and then they go into everybody's mailboxes and everybody here in town picks up from a mailbox. It cost me 7 cents to do that with Tupperware and I get $4.25 for 20 brochures. So I buy a case, I get it at a discount, it's a business write-off, and I'm just taking what they're giving me. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm not creating a new little postcard to send out. I'm not spending time on creating, Tupperware gives us these. So I'm not spending time creating my own to then print. I'm actually just using the resources they've already got for us. They're professional, they're done, they're ready to go. Bottom of page 37. You're effectively running a small business with all the resources of a large one. Maximize your advantage by making the most of all that is available to you. You pay only for the resources you need, so there's no waste. So if you're going to use a case of brochures, you order a case of brochures. If you're not going to use a case of brochures, you order however many packs you feel you're going to use. And then you're not having that bulk overhead on you. Your future and that of your corporate partner are linked. The more successful you are, the more successful the corporation will be. The corporation wants you to succeed, and that's why our plans are set up the way they are, to help us succeed so that they're successful. It's important that both sides establish and maintain a good relationship based on mutual understanding, trust, respect, and loyalty. Each corporation is unique with its own culture, products, plan, track record, and role models, all of which are living proof that the system works. From day one, you have access to this reservoir of resources. Seize the advantage. You may not like everything your corporate partner does. Remember that the corporation is in partnership with a wide range of representatives, each with different goals and circumstances. It's unrealistic to expect everything to fit your specific needs. But what's great is we can usually tailor so that they fit our needs. So if you have something that comes out that you don't personally like, maybe your market's going to like it if you put a pretty border around the picture that matches it and makes it look like it matches whatever's going on in the community at that time with that color scheme or whatever. As with any business, mistakes may be made from time to time. These are not deliberate. Chances are you'll make a few too. Have faith in your choice of company. Slip-ups are frustrating, but they are not the end of the world unless you choose to make them so. For example, a popular product that suddenly goes on back order is an inconvenience, but it is also an opportunity to trumpet the soaring demand for the product to your customers and recommend that they keep an extra one handy or order sooner during promotions. When popular products are promoted, sales often exceed company forecasts. Just like our flash sales that just went on, people get upset when they miss out on products, but sometimes it's just not enough people understanding the importance of being online and having your parties ready to go. Cultivate a good relationship with the person who recruited you and your upline. I say and your upline, and the people farther up the line who recruited that person. They all have a wealth of knowledge and experience to share with you through training and mentoring. They want you to succeed. The more successful you are, the more successful they will be. By learning to accept differences and avoid judgments, you will foster great relationships with myriad, I'm not even sure how to say that word, of personalities. Above all, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Adopt your corporate partner's system. It has worked for others before you. Learn it, follow it, and duplicate it by example and through training. Don't waste time creating your own resources. You have talented staff to do that for you in your corporate office for free. The more time you spend at the front line of your business, marketing your products and your business opportunity person to person, face to face, by phone and by email, the faster you will rise through the ranks. Time spent on activities that do not lead to recruiting, booking appointments, or selling product is time wasted. Anybody have anything to add to that?
I highlighted that whole last paragraph.
Yeah.
Well, I also, when you want just the whole thing about, and it goes back to even Brownie, when we build the people, they'll build the business. Mm-hmm. When we help others be successful, we become successful at the same time. I also liked at the bottom of 38, by learning to accept the differences and avoid judgments, you'll foster better relationships. And that is such an important thing to know in our business, that everybody brings their own unique style and their own just their own uniqueness to their business. And it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It just means that we're different people and we do some things differently, but we can all use the same tools and we can all be successful. It's just finding what works best for us.
Anybody else? Thanks, Jan. It's very true. I love like the way that everything is now with social media. I love how easy it is to duplicate. I mean, I remember direct sales 10 years ago, and it was not it was not this easy. So you had no choice but to pick up the phone or to go door knock. You had no choice but to go friend find. You had no choice but to get out of your own way, basically, and go and talk to people and ask people to host parties or to purchase products or whatever it was that you're, searching to get at that point 10 years ago. So
I'm going to be the outlier here. I'm going to be the devil's advocate. This book was written in 2007, right? All of the current social media gurus, masters, blah, 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 whatever you want to call them, say not to do this, to absolutely be an outlier, to absolutely make your own mark, to stand alone, to be something more than what your company is putting out there and that everybody else is doing over and over and over again. How are you different than the rest of the consultants online that are putting out the exact same graphic, the exact same information, the exact same post and, copy and paste? How are you different? So I get what you're saying, utilize your company's marketing. We utilize it, Cup Social is amazing. Utilizing what we get from Tupperware, but at the end of the day, on social media now, you do have to be different. You do have to make a different noise. You have to look different than Pam, than Tracy, than Ellen, than Jan. I gotta look different because it's not my neighborhood. I can take the exact same resources that you're taking to my neighborhood because you're not sitting in my neighborhood. I can take it to my community because you're not sitting in my community. But when you go on social media, I am now sitting in your neighborhood. I am now sitting in Tracy's neighborhood. I am now sitting in Ellen's neighborhood. So what makes me different than you? If we're all using the exact same graphic and the exact same language and the exact same verbiage, what makes me different?
So I love this.
You make you different,
Right.
I mean, you make you different. I mean, that's the key, is that your personality is going to, your personality is going to mesh with my neighbor's personality and mine doesn't,
Right.
And so you're the one who brings that to the table. It's funny that you say that, because
when you a 3-second scroll, like that's what it is now, 3 to 5 second scrolls through stories on Facebook and on Instagram. And if they're seeing the exact same image because they've got 4 or 5 different Tupperware representative friends, it's the exact same thing. It's like literally the exact same thing. And it takes away that uniqueness. It takes away that personality. If they're seeing the same thing, they're like, oh, this is just corporate blah, and it's not personal. They don't see it as it's something coming from me. So I don't know. I feel like you have to find a balance of you're putting out your own unique content versus whether or not you're going to be using 100% what's put out by.
Don't you add personal comments when you post things?
Yeah, you do. But yes, you do. But if you're scrolling, only a portion of that personal comment is seen.
But when you take the picture like this, who wants these canisters?
But
that's your personality.
That's not corporate resource. That's personal, unique content that, again, is exactly opposite of what this is saying. This is saying, don't do that.
I think there's corporate resources. I think there's definitely corporate resources that everybody can tap into, such as training and things like that. Now, as far as this specific resource, you definitely want to take the idea from the corporate resource and make it your own with your own personality. So, but I mean, I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Corporate has so many amazing resources for us. If you look under the training and all those videos that we can plug our people into, you know, they don't need to share those videos, but it can give them those ideas on what to do with that. Something that I was going to mention was I love when she was talking about have faith in your choice of company. That spoke to me, because times have we had a new consultant that is like jump ship because they can't figure out how to order their coupon, or their coupon hasn't loaded yet, you know, and it's like, no, wait, why did you join? And they're like, well, I want to be able to go to Ireland and pay for my family. I'm like, okay, so because your cold brew hasn't loaded yet, you're going to just throw all of it away, you know. And it's so important, our attitude towards our company and being able to talk to people and talk them down from those situations is huge. And so I think as leaders, we bring that attitude, because if we get all, we're like, gosh, why isn't that cold brew? And we're bent out of shape about it. No, really, it's not a big deal. Don't sweat the small stuff. You know, you came here for a reason. Stay the course, you know? And so I really do. I feel like our, you know, the way that we approach the business and the way we model it, and because they're watching us all the time, they're watching how we react to back orders, they're watching how we react is in the system and things along those lines. And so if we, you know, go crazy, they go crazy. Sorry, my internet's probably doing something weird, but anyways, but that's just kind of my 2 cents.
Love it. I also so Connie, thank you for reminding that this book is like 12 years old. So no, seriously, because it's true. So when you look at the context of the book, just to bring that back a little bit, so this is basing building your network marketing business more on an in-person relationship versus a social media styled relationship, right? So Tupperware also expects you to build relationships. So how you choose to do that is your own choice, right? If it's through social media, then yeah, you have to really make yourself super unique. That's what you have to do now to get attention on social media. But if you're doing the door-to-door, you can print off the flyers that were sent in the email. You can print that PDF off because somebody else has spent money, labor hours on making sure that that graphic is done and professional and ready to go, right? So like when I'm building my business, I'm not reinventing the wheel. Like when I'm not door knocking, I'm not reinventing the wheel. For resources that I want to hand people and talk to them about, I'm using what Tupperware has given us. And that's,
oh yeah, in that case, absolutely. And that's one of the things that kills me with some of my newer sponsors who, you know, oh, well, this isn't working for you. Well, have you taken the flyer that you got in your email and have you shared that? Well, I haven't even opened my email. Okay, well, that's the first spot. You got to read what, I mean, that's one of the things that just kills me sometimes. Like, why did you partner with a multi-billion-dollar company if you're not going to utilize what they're giving you? You know, all the things that they're giving you that are available. You know, the number one, you're like, have you looked at any of the training videos? You know, have you? No, I haven't. I'm like, well, I mean, when you've got people who are making millions of dollars and they're doing videos for you to help you do exactly what they're doing, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. So I get, yeah, that part of it, absolutely. Take what your company is giving you. But on the flip side, you still need to make yourself different. And especially, oh my gosh, heaven forbid you have another consultant that lives on your block or something. Like,
yeah, well, I live in a small town, so I do deal with that actually. But I'm lucky enough that most of my small town is mostly my team. So, I mean, I'm literally like, I don't care who you're going to deal with. Like, just somebody is great, you know. But it talks here about how it can be confusing to people if you're trying to reinvent the wheel too much. So we are middle of page 39. However ambitious your goals are, your business will be built one person at a time through both direct and indirect recruits. As I've already explained, the key to success is duplication. If you decide to do things differently from the norm, you'll complicate the business and confuse the people you recruit. Imagine what could happen if everybody you recruited created a different system. Confusion does not lead to sustained success. Look at McDonald's as an example. One system duplicated 17,000 times in America and 26,000 times all over the world, and that number is probably through the roof comparative now because it's 12 years ago. Or look at Starbucks or Curves. Your job is to drive the system, not invent it. Think of the business as a train. You're driving your train towards an incredible destination. Your corporate partner has laid the tracks and others have traveled them before you. But you are the driver of this train, and you're fired up with belief in yourself, your products, and your business opportunity. The stations along the way are your mileposts, where you will celebrate your progress before setting out on the next leg of your journey. You started your network marketing business to build a fabulous income and a fabulous life. Celebrate the journey is part of the joy. Celebrating the journey is part of the joy of the success. And we do a great job of that in Tupperware. I think we've talked about that before, but I love how Tupperware celebrates even the small things that everybody does along the way. This is not a journey to take alone. The more people who travel with you, the more quickly you'll reach your destination. When you first set out, your train is hauling empty cars, ready to be filled with new recruits. As you bring more recruits on board and as their belief and excitement add fuel to fire your engine, the more exhilarating your journey will be. Invite as many people as you can. Don't prejudge and don't slow down for procrastinators. So like that stuck out huge to me. You just keep on trucking. I don't know what else to say, but if you slow down to the pace of the people that are procrastinating to help you get where you want to go, you're not going to get where you're going at the same, at whatever your expectation previously was. So it'll take you longer. You don't want to stop, like whatever the deal is there. Invite as many people as you can. Don't prejudge, don't slow down for procrastinators. The longer you stop, the longer your journey will be and the more frustrating it will be for those who've already joined. No one enjoys waiting and no one enjoys delays. Don't worry about reaching capacity. The more people you recruit, the more it is likely that leaders will emerge to take charge of their own car. Those breakaways will stay coupled to your engine as long as you keep filling more cars, like we talked about earlier with Allison having her team explode and she's got people promoting out or breaking away. Some people will be with you for the long haul, while others will travel only a short distance. Don't fret when they leave early on. Network marketing is not a fail-safe system. It's an opportunity, and the reality is that half the people who start a business give up within the first 3 months. Accept that everyone you recruit will have different ambitions, abilities, and circumstances. However far they travel with you, every one of them will enhance your journey. Bon voyage. So like, I've met so many people in this business. Some of them have come into my life in my own personal team. Some of them have come into my life at events where I've met them from other businesses, from other downlines, whatever it may be. And some of them leave, within a few months. They're not in the business anymore, or their, communication drops off. Usually they're relationships that you're building. And I like to remind myself why people come into my life, how they enhanced my life. The things that I cherish about those different things, like what I love most about network marketing and direct sales is all the relationships that I've built and all the people I've met. So it basically talks about like, don't fret when they leave your life. People are going to come and go. Just celebrate everything as you go along the way, because it just makes the ride way more enjoyable. Does anybody have anything to add? No? Fine. So our worksheet, have you guys been doing the worksheet? Yes, no, maybe so. Yeah, I have a couple to catch up on, but I am trying to do them. So I print off the worksheet pages of the chapters off the PDF, and then I stick them in my notebook. I told you this morning, I read the book this morning, so I haven't done my worksheet, but has anybody done theirs they want to share? Nothing? Oh, is my internet wonky?
No, you're good.
Okay, I just saw everybody zoom really quickly on my screen and I was like, oh boy, was I frozen that whole time? All right.
As soon as I start talking, I'll start coughing though, so.
Well, I will say,
that, you know, if you look at the worksheet and what's special about your company, I mean, we're not perfect. None of us are. We all have, you know, yo-yos, and Tupperware makes some mistakes at the same time. We do as well. But what's special about our company is our proven track record. And nobody can argue our proven track record. And Tupperware has been around for 71 years with no stop anywhere in sight. And even though our business has completely changed, like most of y'all wouldn't even be here now if you were back in the day where we took all of our parties from the week, we put them all on one tally order form, we turned them in with all the money by noon on Monday, and then you had to go back on Thursday and pick up your product, bring it home, sort it out, bag it up by customer, box it up by host, try to find the host home where you could go deliver it. I mean, most of you wouldn't even be here now. So Tupperware has sustained through all the changes in the world today, and they're still a strong, powerful company with very strong brand name recognition. And I think even through all of the other stuff, we just have to keep the main thing is we've got a great business model, and we want to share it with others, and we want to help people save time and money and space and waste and taste and all that other stuff. We've evolved, and with the proven track record, I think all the other stuff we can create a mute point. It's really what this company has done and continues to do in rolling with the times. Sometimes we're not first to roll with the times, but we get there.
I agree. Tupperware has done a phenomenal job of staying extremely relevant. I mean, when I started, just kind of like, oh, is my internet weird? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Oh, okay, my internet keeps going.
It froze for a sec, but we're good.
Yeah, but when I first started, I was like, I remember, I don't.
Oh, now you're freezing off and on. Yep, you froze there. There you're back.
I'm back. But I remember when I started, I didn't think I was a Tupperware lady. Like, I wasn't the idea in my head that I had of a Tupperware lady. And I was just like, I don't know about this. And I was just like, but Pam, honestly, Pam's the one who was just like, she said to me, she goes, when was the last time you were at a Tupperware party? And I said, I've never been to a Tupperware party. And she said, and I, in my head, that's my objection. Like, I've never even been to a Tupperware party. Like, why would I sell Tupperware? And she goes, exactly. And I was like, holy crap. I'm like, this is a totally open market. Like, I haven't been invited to a Tupperware party. I haven't heard about Tupperware. Like, but I know Tupperware. And so I was just kind of like, so she took my objection and completely turned it around on me and was just like, I need you, and people need you. They need your demographic, your people. You need to be able to reach them. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I think I need to sell Tupperware. Like, you know, and I didn't think, like, I was just, you know, and then I went to Jubilee and I was just like, oh, see, these aren't the people that I had envisioned in my head that were Tupperware ladies. You know, I was just like, there are people like me. I was like, this is great, you know, because every time I worked a lot of vendor shows, and when I would see the vendor shows, it wasn't always the best representation of Tupperware. And I was like, I don't know, you know. So, but yeah, it's huge. And even in the 12 years that I've been in Tupperware, my goodness, the products they've come out with in the last 12 years, insane. I mean, they're phenomenal. So yeah, it's definitely the right company at the right time.
So I had a question for you guys, because I did my worksheet. Question, or number 5 on page 41, where it talks about what your prospects get. And I do a jumpstart kit before my prospects get their actual kit. But one of the things I had a question about, do you still do like actual live new consultant orientation training?
Some people do. We don't. I mean, we don't have anything in place at Champion, like at our studio. We kind of do it sporadically. But we have online. I love that jumpstart kit.
all of
You
my
said that, and I was like, I love that. I mean, I
all
used
of
to send
my
like a welcome letter with some stuff, but I loved your word choice there.
everything that we talked about in my group is like, I don't know how to explain it. It's all like car based, because like my Jumpstart kit is my Kickstart kit, and then we have Jumpstart University, which is our like day. They come to my house and we do like new consultant orientation, and then we have pit stop calls, and we have IMAP.
What's your team name?
But it has nothing to do with my team.
Oh, you need to change that. That's fun. That's fun.
But our IMAP is for all those who want to be managers. So it's like a manager's action plan. So we get together for our IMAP, and it's all about roads and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe I do need to change my name. So I was just wondering, because I know a lot of people aren't doing that. And a lot of people feel, or I've heard from quite a few people who feel like that is going with the way of the dinosaur, that whole getting together for a day-long orientation. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I have to do a lot online now. I have to do a lot of mine by Zoom because I'm seriously nationwide, from California to the tip of Florida. And so I have to do a lot of it online, and it's a lot harder to get people to engage. And even though I do a lot of things by Zoom, I'm not sure that that's really best. Sometimes I think going back to a conference call might have been a better idea, because we can so easily get distracted with what's going on with other people that we have on Zoom, or looking at something in the background, or, you know, I mean, it's an easy distraction. Or when you see somebody eating and you're trying to do your meeting, and all of a sudden you're like, can't stop thinking about food because somebody was eating ice cream. You know what I mean?
Or if they're like laying on a bed and you're just kind of like, why are you like this? I can't look at this.
Why are you even here? Yeah.
I know.
I watched a man get dressed yesterday. Fortunately, nothing serious was out, but you know, it's sometimes the Zoom is not, I love being able to see people, but if they're not sitting at their desk focused on what we're doing, where they're taking notes, and they're just kind of out and about around the house, I'd rather just have their name there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so distracting to the others. So I kind of go back and forth. I would love to be able to do in person for all of it again, but that's just not realistic in my market right now.
Yeah. The plus side to Zoom is the face-to-face. You know what I mean? Like, it's the closest thing that you have to being truly face-to-face when you're virtual, you know, and that's definitely a plus side to Zoom. But I totally understand. I mean, I've seen some weird things, and I'm like, you can see yourself, right? Because I'm looking right at your three chins as you're like, like, what's happening? Like, they're laying there. Yeah, they're laying with it, like, they're laying back like this. I'm just like, what is happening over there? Like, yeah. And it's definitely distracting. I think, can you, as the monitor, as like the host, can you turn off somebody's camera? I think you can, because you can mute them.
Well, yeah, you can. I don't know if I can mute.
Oh, she turned me off. Tracy turned me off.
Well, now we know. You know what? Thank you. I need
so if my picture shows up, I've been censored by Tracy.
So Tracy, tell us the secret.